Alright, let's get to chapter 7. And let's start, if I recall correctly, yes, with the balcony.
The butcher who commanded the castle kitchens fed the corpses of the dead to the ghouls. The efficiency of the Queen's household is formidable indeed.
Debatable.
The vampires drain the blood, and the ghouls feed on the
I mean, I
remains.
trust Zobek's
Nothing
judgment,
is left.
Trova.
Using his powers is making Gabriel far stronger than I anticipated. He will need more than physical prowess when he faces her. She can put a glamour upon his heart that will tempt him to forget everything he knows, even his beloved. She holds the next piece of the mask, and I fear that he will fall at the last.
Come on, Zobek, put a bit more trust in us. We can do it.
Yeah, seriously, when did you become a Debbie Downer all of a sudden?
Well, remember, Zobek is like recording these kind of memories. He manages to has a way to understand what we're doing, where we're going, hence why he's able to reconjunct with us at some points. So he's actually speculating right now. Also, those are quite the armor sets, actually. Thankfully, they do not come to life.
You know, it's funny though that this castle used to belong to Baron von Frankenstein, because, I don't know, it's weird, it seems awfully royal. And Baron or not, you'd think this is pretty big for someone of his status to have.
Again, it might be possible that the next occupant, the Reinhardt family, sorry, not the Bernard family, sorry, the Bernard family managed to apply some renovations, let's just say, especially because officially in the second game we learned that they had a particular helper that set up all the traps and contraption that we see in this castle.
So, what's the objective of this bit, put simply then?
What do you mean, in terms of objective? In this case, it's basically to use the balcony to reach the inner parts of the castle, and we're just passing like from the exterior of it.
Okay. Well, there's a still dead body there.
We'll get to it in a second.
I would say go help him, but it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Sometimes you can help the dead in Castlevania.
Sadly, it's not really...
By what?
Well,
stealing their money?
Or they're gems in this case, Wibbs.
I mean, gem, money, yeah.
There are some cases
Spyro
where you
will take a difference to that.
There's some cases...
It isn't Spyro, is it?
There are some cases where you can help free their souls, or help them come back to life for certain means or ways here and there.
Well, unfortunately, Gabriel is not Soma Cruz, so he cannot actually summon them to his aid.
Nah. Sure would be great if he were Soma Cruz, wouldn't it, Tio?
But this is not another scroll, instead it's just a gem, so let's move on.
I was going to say something like, why did I climb all the way around here? Now I can't go back because I'm afraid of heights.
Everything has a purpose here, Dwibs.
Yes, like I'm pretty sure that guy there had a purpose, but he doesn't now.
Yeah, I just jump cut it because I wasn't unsure about this fight, so I just cut it back to a better stable version of it.
I'm gonna ask him. Excuse me, Sir Knight. What is your purpose?
We have a couple of other sword masters here. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to be water that we can electrify on the ground, so it should be a bit more manageable. Again, the entire trick with these guys is to find out which swing is parable and which not. After that, go wild on them. It certainly doesn't help if they start, ganking up on you.
Ow.
No.
Yes, the Rebel John will be saying the bio. The Sword Masters are technically already dead. They just lost most of their humanity.
They're dead, but not asleep.
You know what those guys should do? They should be more like Mortimer Sharp and put his metal head on. When he won the game, he didn't wish for revenge on those who woke him up, or world domination, or anything like that. All he wished for was to just go back to sleep. He got his wish. Yeah, Calypso didn't twist or alter it in any way.
Shit.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Another trick that sword masters can do is to actually project an air blade type of attack. There we go. Also, Dejimon dropped a lot of secondary weapons like candies.
All the endings of games I've seen, I think head-on is the best ones that I've seen. There's one or two of them just like 30-second cutscenes of pretty dated CGI.
Yes, of course.
Ow.
Now, thankfully, there's not falling damage in this game, so you're free to experiment to your heart's content. There are one or two levels, if I recall correctly, where there is some minor contra syndrome, where past a certain point, if you're trying to jump back to a ledge where you might actually die because the game is scriptured in a way that you cannot go back to that particular area. But they're very rarest cases. Anyway, next scroll, Jova. Why not?
Okay, here we go. I have assessed the expanse of the castle, and it is truly vast in size. The Dark Lord that ruleth here is well protected, and I fear none from our brotherhood will ever come close enough to challenging him, dude. It is cold here, and the wind chills to the bone, dude. I am fortunate not to have been discovered, but I don't know how long I'll be able to hold out, but it will totally be righteous.
And I guess how long you lasted was about 5 minutes.
Well, that's the thing, Dwiz.
Well, depends.
The cold finished him off.
It seems that the cold doesn't really bother Gabriel.
I thought you were going to say the other guy, and then I'd say, well, because it's not going to bother him now, he's dead.
You know, honestly, I could see Elsa trying out as a Belmont.
Well, she's not really good with actual weapons on her own, though.
I remember, well, technically there she can create ice weapons to use.
Yeah.
That is true, but she's more of a magical character than just a physical motherfucker.
She is capable of using weapons.
Oh, really, Jova? Then why wasn't she the extra party member for the Frozen World in Kingdom Hearts?
I was about to ask, was she a party member in Kingdom Hearts?
No, you had the stupid ice golem.
That was dumb. That was
The
just
ice golem was cool.
that was just Kingdom Hearts 3.
I like the ice
Hold on,
weapon.
I'll read these, why not? The castle was a place where horrible experiments were conducted. I heard folk tell of clockwork or mechanisms that still continue to turn for no apparent reason, and strange contraptions that wander its dark corridors. Lightning strikes here often. Is that what gave life to these things? Is the castle itself a giant conductor for the vast amount of energy needed to resurrect these unholy abominations and the experiments that created them?
And yet,
Hey, we found out about our secrets.
and
Kill
yet,
him.
and yet, sadly, no Frankenstein monster. It's such a missed opportunity. The Frankenstein monster is one of the.
Again, it's sadly in recent times Universal decided to be assholes and issues a kind of a copyright thing, unless you depict the monster in a very specific way that does not resemble.
So it's like Sherlock Holmes.
Kinda. And
What
DC
we don't know is that
DC
Castlevania Lords of Shadows was actually a prequel to Dracula Unchained.
I'm told.
It's
But DC Comics has their own version of the monster. Okay, I don't remember if it was created by Grant Morrison, but it basically was the one who popularized it the most. But he has characteristics to be enough to be different. And even so, I think DC still has to pay some royalties to Universal. Sorry?
Deji?
What?
I actually saw Dracula Untold a couple of years ago, and I can describe it as a film that happened, and Universal wanted to make its franchise based off of that. It didn't work because the film was so bland.
So they tried again, and it failed
And it was
miserably.
even worse.
yeah, I was about to say. So, better
The
to.
anniversary Dark Universe.
Oh God, that has got to be one of the most premature.
It's been how long? Like 40 years since the Mummy in
I
2017?
think it's 5.
Jesus.
Oh wait, since the Mummy, yeah, 4 years. But I
2017.
think they were hyping up the Dark Universe back in 2016.
I hear that they're still going to try and release this Bride of Frankenstein movie as its own thing, but yeah.
It's kind of a
Yeah,
shame
that's
because
not
instead
fair.
their newest take on the Invisible Man is actually a really good one. Like it's a standalone movie on its own.
From
Like,
Blumhouse.
That came out.
Yeah,
yes,
that's been out.
it's basically a reimagining of the classical tale of the Invisible Man, but instead of being like a cream and he has to use bandages, he's someone developing an experimental suit that camouflages his body constantly. It's this psychological horror thriller.
Oh yeah, it's a very good one too. And again, it didn't need some big fancy budget like, you know, The Mummy Returns to Dracula Untold.
That's
No,
the secret with Blumhouse, like pocket money for big exchanges in return.
pretty much like.
Oh, apparently it was from the guy who was from one of the co-creators of Saw.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Oof, I forgot the name.
It's not James Wan.
No, it's not James Wan. Anyway, we have another puzzle. This time, drop the ball. Each time you drop the ball in a specific manner, the things that it runs across get tilted, and you need to tilt all of them until they become all green instead of just being all red. Sounds simple. It is not.
Wow, the
There
things
we go.
Frankenstein was working on, I see.
This is, well, the second game pretty much confirms that this is not made by Frankenstein. Instead, it's kind of a, think of it kind of like of a toy done, in this case to entertain the young mind of Laura. Yes, Libs? Yes, Dad, sorry?
Is this a puppet?
No.
What? No.
Yeah, okay.
What? No.
We're done with that, we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
Well, Jova said it. It was close to sounding.
Yeah, why did you say it like that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, again, I have to admit that this one took a bit longer than for me instead of just guessing it at the first occasion. But again, I did not actually. I don't think I actually found the scroll that talks about it, or maybe later. But whatever. I still essentially had to. No. Again, the only thing that changes, whatever you get, is that if you use the quote unquote the super hint equivalent by reading the corresponding scroll, you don't get an actual prize in terms of experience points from these puzzles. I mean, whatever you think about that is up to you.
Ah, so close.
And we actually are closing solving this. We just need to drop it one last time.
And there we go.
Hashtag nailed it. And we get 800 Pickarats this time.
Castlevania, Sword.
Oh, there is the scroll. I forgot about that. It was right there. There you go. There is some writing on the sides of a strange machine. The color shall be no longer the red if you drop the balls, all using your head. This toy was a gift from my mother, the queen. To get their front hinges must be green.
I get the
What does
feeling
that mean?
I get the feeling you
this-
should have been reading that in Laura's voice to you.
This guy must have had some really bad writer's block.
Like I said,
No, I think true. It might have been something that Laura had written. Whatever, alas.
we'll just assume that
Oh,
Laura had
no.
a cold that day.
Sure, why not? It's a shame. I kind of like her voice for this game.
Well, when she's sick, she sounds like an Italian guy.
But this leads us into the meet and greet of the original owner of the place,
Here we go.
the Electric Laboratory.
This part of the castle was once where acclaimed scientist Friedrich von Frankenstein conducted his experiments into artificial life. He was quite mad
Artificial
and
life,
often would conduct
necessarily
horrific and
resurrected
depraved
life.
acts, trying to discover the secrets of life itself. His own demise was equally gruesome. The vampire queen took him, but kept him alive, thus over many centuries.
has
She
to do
fed
with a
on
bit of
him
her
daily,
previous life.
keeping him at the brink of death, yet living and aware. Why she did this is only known to a few. She once loved life and loved living things, and before she became a Lord of Shadow, she vowed she would punish Frankenstein for his vile acts.
What an interesting
As a Dark
retribution.
Lord,
Now,
she
I get
was
the
able
feeling
to
that
keep her
originally she
word.
wouldn't have done it this way, but hey, her body sort of reduced of its good side, didn't really care about ethics.
Karma's a bitch.
I've
So,
seen a lot of of interesting stories involving curses. I mean, I don't know if I told you this before, but there was a bit of lore going into a theme park ride at Alton Towers.
Hold on, Vibs, because this next puzzle is important. I'll let you go after
Okay,
it.
carry on.
I have spent 2 days in this labyrinth trying to figure a way out of here. With some observation, it is easy to see, but the strange devices create deadly barriers between the red and the blue ones. I will need to find a way to make them switch colors. Essentially, what you need to do is to use the gauntlet to do a stomping ground move on that button on the ground in order to switch the right color. It starts easy, it becomes difficult later on. Go on, Waves.
And what happened was, there was this ride called Hex in Alton Towers, and the lore going into it, because it's one of those rides that has a story, is where what happened was there was a poor beggar who was actually a witch. She begged a passing rich guy who lived in a manor to give her a coin, but he was like, nah, piss off. And so she put a curse on him, where basically for every branch of the old oak tree that fell, a member of his family would die.
Huh.
Well, what do you think happened?
Yeah.
Always theme park, everyone.
And so the guy, of course, the branch fell during a thunderstorm and someone died. So it led to the guy going insane, trying to find a way to stop the branches from falling. He literally chained up the tree.
Jesus. It kind of reminds me of an inverse situation of, I think it's Macbeth, where he gets the premonition that the tree will move against him, so he tries to exterminate all of them, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I can't remember how it ended, but judging by the fact that the ride has a branch in the middle of it as you're swinging back and forth in the room.
Yeah. Not the right place to punch, Gabriel. There we go. Again, it starts off easy, but as the more you progress, the more the actual electric lines will become, complex. And you cannot cheese your way out by jumping over the electric lines. They're pretty much a wall that you cannot go through. There we go. The problem with the punching is that it screws up a bit where you're actually punching. Gabriel does this like arc movement, which means that he punches like slightly off to where he actually is, meaning that your perspective gets a bit fucked up. Oh man, this is quite the step up.
Then again, that story I told you probably pales in comparison to one of the actual other rides at the park. That actually involves, it's a roller coaster that can catch fire.
Seriously?
Yeah, that sounds like Eggman Land.
It's called the Wicker Man, and it's basically a roller coaster that uses together wood and fire, and uses special techniques so it doesn't actually burn anyone.
Does it have bees used for it?
Sadly, no.
And yes, I know that the figure of a Wicker Man is beyond also the Nicolas Cage movie.
Also,
although funny story actually, Alton Towers does have an issue with bees getting in them, to the point where they have to put up bee traps all over the place.
The irony.
So wait,
I remember being in Oakwood once and there was a hornet just harassing people.
Ha ha ha, sorry, being. I see what you did there.
Yes,
Hornets are worse.
Anyway, Dwibs.
Yes, they're jerks. Bees are your friends.
No duh. Anyway, wait. Anyway, Dwibs, are you saying that the Wicker Man coaster was actually powered by wood and fire, or that the wood and fire was just part of the scenery for the roller coaster?
Yeah, well, one of the roller coaster's gimmicks is fire. It uses it on the ride.
Ah, neat.
There was a ride in Japan where they used fire on the ride. It was cool.
I've been on a few roller coasters that use fire here and there.
Shiri, wouldn't the accurate word for that be hot?
Ah.
Oh, hanging fruit with that one, dude.
If fire were cool, it'd be pretty crap fire.
You'd be surprised, Dwibs. Some people find a way to make cool fire in different bouts of media.
Anyway, let me catch up back some magic.
that enough?
There we go. And by using using the explosive kunai trick that we used already in the sewer system, or it was in the abbey, I forgot. There you go. We're able to actually bypass this place. This next one is even more complex, but I sense that there's something else involved with this.
How can it get even better?
Well, there is a rotating lever, meaning that we have some degree of freedom for this. So let's give it a look. Oh, there is already a breakable wall. Where a button, with also a button. Let's see what it does.
Man, Gabriel's just flexing. Punches the floor.
Pretty much. There we go. Let's give a look. Oh, seems we're like trapped inside.
Lovely.
But we found a red lens, although it's not to be used here. What have you seen, Gabriel? It's just a pile of rubbles. Or maybe more.
Oh,
And yes,
cool,
Pedro, we
robotic
have
spider.
a giant mechanical spider.
Fuck this.
Wild, wild
And
west
also not
indeed.
powered by a demon fetus, nonetheless. The vampires were not the first tenants of the castle. The previous owner was a scientist known as Friedrich von Frankenstein. He used the castle to conceal his horrific experiments into artificial life. The mechanical monstrosity was one such foray. Frankenstein created this giant scorpion-like machine using the brain of a malformed medical experiment gone wrong. However, his creature proved difficult to control and now rampages through the castle, killing anything it can get its claws into.
Just a design flaw.
This is actually one of the more entertaining kind of boss fights because it's a bit more unpredictable, but its attacks, finding the correct pattern of the attacks and countering them effectively or dodging them effectively is a bit more satisfying than normal.
So yes, you are fighting a giant robotic spider that is powered by a fetus.
A demon fetus. Remember,
fun.
Kojima worked on this game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bastard loves to use electricity to recharge its energy. But it just so happens that there's a button right there. So, in true Star Trek fashion, well, first we cannot do that for the time being, but for the time being we just need to damage it more. But what happens, I wonder, if we just press the button and reverse the polarity?
Wouldn't that be nice to try out? Also, you gotta love how the boss is feral enough to attack you, but it's smart enough to know how to heal itself. Cute.
There we go. As soon as it does this, punch it, and reversing the polarity allows you to cement the damage that you dealt. Do it 2 more times and you're done. Ow. Okay, the one thing that I will say is that this particular boss theme, which is also used in later parts of the game, is not the most fitting for the encounter. It's fine on its own as a track, but for this moment it's a bit too grandiose. It would have been probably better fitting something more creepy, eerie. Otherwise, this boss fight is actually, again, if you know just the proper mechanics and how to counter, this boss fight goes down in very little time anyway.
Music is quite interesting for this battle as well.
Oh yeah, I just mentioned. Anyway, one last push, and there we go. Again, reversing the polarity literally magnetizes this thing.
I gave you life, and now I'm gonna take it away.
What a hunk of junk. Oh, cute mouse! What are you doing?
No. Don't.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So the death of a mouse in 3 acts.
It deserved it.
No, it didn't, you
Yes,
monster.
it did. Yes, it did. Survival of the fittest. That mouse was stupid enough to touch a thing that was clearly dangerous, and so he died.
Wow.
Well, I'm not hearing any arguments against that.
Dweebs, okay.
Not worth arguing with a statement like that.
Not just that, like, how many ways can I just tell you when you're so cold?
It's a mouse. If it were a human being, I'd probably be a bit more sympathetic.
Okay, let me quote Dr. Okay, I don't remember how precise the quote from the OG Dr. Littler, which was an asshole, by the way, is, but sometimes I feel more empathy for some animals than for some humans. With.
I'm inclined to agree.
It depends on what the animal is.
So you have absolutely no problem for the human part.
Wow, you're very selective, Dwarves.
Well, are we all selective on things?
Just a bit, maybe. So the no you argument, okay.
This bit is in no way related to the actions of Peter.
No. Peter would endorse this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm clarifying that we're in no way being endorsed by Peter.
Oh, no. In fact, I'm going to say that. I'm not either.
I forgot actually to activate one particular bit, so I have to go back.
Yeah, this is a fuck Peter zone.
Yes. Even from me.
I will say this, they provide some entertainment with their stupid mock games, so...
Like Pokemon Black and Blue.
And all the bugs they had to catch in Animal Crossing to open that museum. Wait, what?
The point is, Peter are hypocrites, and let's move on. Hypocrites are the worst kind, actually, because they outright hurt things with their lives.
I think South Park may not have been too far off implying that they make love channels.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, let's
Me neither.
let's move. Yeah, imagine you come to Castlevania Lords of Shadow commentary for a commentary on the game. Instead, you get a talk about how Peter sucks both in 2 ways.
Oh. Well, now.
That was a straight up evil laughter.
I could actually do evil laughter.
Here, I don't care about those. You're a fan of Sailor Moon. I wanted the noble woman laugh, the very snooty one, kind of like that villain. Yeah, kind of like the villain. There is a particular villain from Sailor Moon that loves to do that, I've been told.
I'm curious to hear your evil laugh, actually, Shirway.
Another time, because now instead we're gonna move. We're gonna probably do it in the next part, but we're gonna do that to conclude Chapter 7 for going to Observatory, and I'm sure we will never see the mechanical monstrosity ever again. We're totally defeated it, guys. Oh shit! It has a reboot function.
Well, I mean, okay, I'll give Mr. Belmont some credit. To him, it probably looks like the thing.
Yeah, and again, Gabriel is not completely stupid, so there we go.
No reason to think it would be alive.
Pretty much.
Alright, instead, like he mentioned, in the next part, well, I guess we'll be bound to meet again the mechanical monstrosity, but otherwise, we're also going to a place that requires the particular lens that we've collected in this place. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
I also need brain bleach to get rid of that Peter bit out of my head.
See ya.